Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ambient Afternoons. Sorry about that. If you're rejoining us on the different platforms, had to restart it, and got the kids here today, and of course, they're all on their video games and tablets and everything else along up the internet. But of course, we had to get it back going here. So I definitely appreciate y'all hanging with me. Hit that like button wherever you are. We're not going to do too much talking because this is Ambient Afternoons, not Talking Afternoon. So, but that patch you just heard there was from the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus. It's part of the pack I've been developing. It's actually going to be the second patch in there. And that preset just comes sounding like that. Like, as soon as you plug into it, it's going to sound like that. Without it, but with it, so of course stay tuned for that pack. But today we're gonna kind of be doing the same type of ambient afternoon we usually would do, but we're gonna be kind of just exploring some of these newer pedals that just came out that work great for ambient stuff if you're into that as a bassist, especially. First up, we have of course, the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus, which is an amazing pedal here and allows up to 6 effects at a time. Now, this doesn't have the same processing power as this. This might be a higher sample rate, the HX1, but you'll never know when you're listening to them. Like, sometimes you got to get out of the numbers and get into what it actually sounds like. Everything on paper could look amazing, but still sound garbage when you get it in your hands. So don't let the numbers and the amount of money it costs you, or just your loyalty to a brand, cost you. I'm not the biggest Line 6 fan, but I actually think this HX1 is a great little pedal, just a little on the pricier side compared to what the competitors are doing at the moment. But it does have a few extra features that the competitors don't have. So, but all right, let's get back into it. We're not doing a tutorial. We're doing ambient afternoons. So let's get back to playing around with some of these sounds. Hey guys, those of you just joining us, welcome to Ambient Afternoons. Sorry to those of you that have had to rejoin. Sorry about the technical difficulty, but nonetheless, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Sorry about that, tripping over these chords here. Oh, hitting the thing and everything. Good gracious. But yeah, so let me see what we got here. Make sure we back straight. All right, that's good. That should be fine. All right, so something like that. That'll work. Whatever. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging with me. Hit that like button if you haven't already. This is Ambient Afternoons. I don't do too much talking, but What's up, man? What you want to watch on TV? In my room? Here. So, got the kids over, of course. That's why I had to start it over. I underestimated how much their video games and stuff, them live streaming and doing all this live play and everything. So, but yeah, so we exploring the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus, MX Line 6 HX1, and the TC Electronic Plethora X1. All these are great pedals in their own right, you know. And instead of everybody thinking about the possibilities of having all three of them together. And no, I haven't made any progress with the Plethora X1 connecting to the app, but even by itself, as you heard there. So let me take this off real quick. It's worth getting even by itself. Let me make sure nothing else is on here. That's the Cathedral. And one thing a lot of people don't understand about this pedal, yes, it is 7 slots, but each of these slots have an A and B. And each of those A and B also has 5 tone prints it can store. So you're actually looking at closer to 70 presets altogether. And you can edit them and everything, and it saves everything automatically. So this is a really cool feature here. Got the Cathedral. Hall, like you just switch to the Hall. Now switching to the Shimmer. Yo, they sleeping. They sleeping. That's fire. Mind you, each one of these knobs here you can set to 3 different parameters. So A, B, and C can be assigned to any of the 3 parameters that you would like, you know, or 1 at a time, whatever. But this unit's way more flexible than the descriptions and what I've seen people describe, you know, before. So again, each slot has an A and B. So for instance, right now I'm on the Hall of Fame reverb, and this is the only thing that's on right now. People sleeping on TC Electronic. That's fire. Very nice, wide stereo sound to it. But you, like I said, you get, what is this? 1, let me make sure it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, you get 5 tone prints per effect. So just with A and B, you get, of the first slot, you get 10 different tone prints that you can store there. And, you know, so that makes it 70 altogether. And that goes for each slot as well. So that's something that a lot of people are just skipping right over. I would suppose so, due to the fact, I think it might have a looper. I can't, until I get into the app, I can't say for sure that the X1, the Plethora X1 has a looper in it, but the flashback functions as a looper as well. So I would assume that it does have a looper just for the fact that it has the flashback tone print abilities in there, which should allow for it. What's this? Oh, this is the harmonizer pedal. So you get a nice harmony pedal with that as well. But for ambient stuff, the Shimmer and the Cathedral of the Hall of Fame are crazy, as well as of course, the Corona chorus. This one is and all these are the built-in tone prints. I haven't been able to beam any in or connect it to the app just yet for whatever reason. I'm sure they'll fix that. But the joints that it comes stock with it are fine. Like you could literally manipulate all of these to get a lot of different sounds. You're not gonna get every sound you would like, but it's way more flexible than people are making it seem compared to the HX1. The HX1 definitely has some very nice stuff in it, and you know, for the price, it better. I mean, it's on sale for $250. It was $300, which is more than the X1 and the MS-70CDR Plus together. These are on sale for $129. These Plethora X1s. These are on sale for, I believe these are on sale for $110 or something like that as well. These are on sale, and the other multi-stomps are on sale as well. So. I actually love that delay, this Adriatic delay on the HX1. For instance, the shimmer. To bring that decay back. So you can get some amazing sounds with just any combination of these three pedals. Now, what I really like, you know, for example, like I said, I am in the process of developing a pack for the MS-70CDR Plus. You know, it's just so many possibilities within this little pedal. Let me see what I got on tap here already. Like I said, I demonstrated this patch when I first started playing, but a lot of you guys are just joining. And that's literally all the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus. Due to the fact that you got 6 effects on there, you know, I will say, you know, if you were going for each individual effect with the HX1, the HX1 probably has a higher quality individual sound just for the delays and reverbs, but for the modulations, it definitely gets its butt kicked by the multi-stop here. And for the fact, and the compressors and the filters are better in the MS-70CDR Plus. Where this shines is it has distortions and other things like that this doesn't have. This also has octavers and pitch shifters that are pretty good. Poly octaver and all that stuff on here are pretty good. And they're pretty good on here too. Now, do either one of these track as well as say the Hog 2 or like the Poly Blue Octave by MXR or the OC5 by Boss? Nah, they're not that. They're not that, but they are good enough to do some playing with. Delays are amazing on both of these units and the reverbs. So, like I said, you know, let me see. My only thing with this, you know, the HX1, you got to pair it with some other stuff because you don't have everything right there at your disposal because it's one at a time. But, like, I like this shimmer. reverb. So we got another question on the table. Feel free to ask questions. Normally, I guess we could do this. We can do this. I want you guys to get a little bit more engaged. So normally Ambient Afternoons, I don't do a lot of talking. But since you guys have so many questions about these units, go ahead, feel free to throw them in there, ask me questions, and I'm going to go ahead and answer them as I'm playing through some of this stuff and explaining. But what's this? Hill Blocks View. Out of these three, what do you recommend for quality and what do you recommend for features? That is a good question. To be honest with you, you're not going to go wrong with any of these. And for the price, just being real. Just being real. Like if you got a budget of $250, and I would say just get the Plethora X1 and the multi-stomp. That's going to cost you as much as just getting the Line 6 HX1. And these are quality effects. Like, I don't know what people's beef with TC Electronic is, but tell me what the problem with that is. So that's the shimmer effect on the HX1. So, and the tough thing about so that's the MS-70CDR plus. You know, one of the main things about this one is, while that shimmer effect might not beat these two on its own, you still got 5 other slots on here to get that sound to wherever you want it to go. So say, I take that, I could run that into, say I wanted that to be bigger, I could run that into an HD hall, set that up for a nice big. Set that up however you would like. Then I'm gonna add one more little secret ingredient here. If you don't want that so bright, or you don't want it to be so yes, are these two individual affect the shimmer effect better than this individual shimmer effect? Yes, but the benefit of having this one is you could do things like that where I added 2 other effects where it just equaled the entire playing field. Not only that, but I also have the benefit of, go back, I want to keep that. I still got 3 more slots. I could add stuff and make that sound even more intricate or detailed. Which, Go get your cup for me. I could throw in something like this nice, clear stereo chorus. And I can add on something. Here you go. Take it. Here you go, my man. No. Go to the table first. Don't be drinking in my office. So, you know, you can add things like this line selector where it's almost like you are kicking on one effect at a time, because you can literally activate the entire chain or deactivate it with one press. Make just massive sounds with this, you know. And not that that is a great shimmer. And shimmer reverb is just a pitch reverb that has like a, you can set the pitch to different things. You know, this one's set to an octave up and a fifth. This one's set to an octave up, and so is this one. And you can brighten this one up by, it's already set up here with pretty much the mod and the high cutoff there, pretty much. Let's bring this volume down. Got that one. Say I wanted that darker, I could literally just come over to the shimmer, bring that high dampening down. I can go from the, you know, switch out any part of that sound compared to these shimmers. While they do sound great right off the back, and I love them. That's why I'm, you know, have them. But, you know, this one, if you got to pick only one, you know, or which one to start with, you know, depends on, as a bassist, I would go with the MS-70CDR Plus just because of the filters and all that stuff it has in there that sound good. The filters and stuff in here are way better than in here for bassists. Yeah, so yes, they all offer some form of EQ, especially when you get into the Teach Electronic app. You'll have additional parameters in there that you can't access with this by itself, but you do have a high color and so on this, let me see, let me get out of here. This one is all the way open. So the thing is, with this one, you get an intensity knob here and a mix knob, and the intensity, I'll probably bring it down. So let me see. What's going on? Appreciate you hanging out with me over on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Appreciate all of you all. But Yeah, so if you wanted a little bit darker, you probably would bring this intensity down on the HX1. And for the Zoom, one of the additional benefits of having this is, I mean, we got space for one more effect here if we wanted to. Now, we don't have to, but we could. So there's a few different effects that you can use. Matter of fact, let's go over to the filter section. So if I wanted a darker sound on here, I can either choose from a filter of some sort, you know, or I could go straight to an EQ. Come over and just simply roll off the high end. As well. And I would move that over one slot. Well, we got a question about a bass. Typically, we're gonna keep on topic with what we talking about, but I'll go ahead and answer this for you real quick. So what it said, he says, which bass would you recommend for starting out at a budget of $400, €400? I mean, just get you an Ibanez sound gear. You can get one of those used for about $400-500, and you know you can get one with active pickups and the Bartolini preamp and pickups, and it'll sound great for you. Have a nice, slim, fast neck, and it'll be light as well. So you don't want to grab a heavy bass ever. I don't ever use any heavy basses, as my bass is extremely light, and it just sits there. As you notice, my bass has really, because of the way it's designed, it doesn't move. But this is a custom professional bass. So for $400, just get you a Ibanez sound gear SR. It's like I had a Ibanez 6-string for years, active bass 6-string. So check that out. But besides that, let's get back to it with the ambience. So, like I was saying, you know, if you wanted to darken this up, I can have an EQ there at the end where I can literally just roll off the high end. See? And that's one of the benefits of having an MS-70CDR Plus. Is it the end-all be-all of everything? No, and I actually wish this had the same processing power as the Zoom B6. The Zoom B6 sample rate is double that of the multi-stomps. So, you know, the same effects in the multi-stomp are going to be even better in the Zoom B6, but the Zoom B6 isn't going to have the variety that the MS-70CDR Plus has in, you know, the modulation, delays, reverbs, and filters. So look at that. And instantly you got your nice dark pad. So nice sounding from this unit. But I do, like I said, the HX1, the thing that's kind of selling me on it is the effects I do like on there. I really like them. Like I said, the shimmer. I really like this analog flanger. Oh, that's so beautiful. Now, mind you, I do like the modulations better in this Zoom pedal. They're more bass specific, and they are, you know, let you have a lot more bottom, and they still give you a nice wide stereo range. But this is actually my favorite flanger at the moment out of the three. Like if I was just gonna pick a flanger out of all the flangers in here, all the flanger presets in here, I love this analog one I don't like any of the other ones in here, but I like this one, the analog flanger. That is an absolute massive flanger on here. And, you know, it's not like I don't have a flanger on here that I like. I definitely do. Gotta get to it. Mind you, this has all the same effects that this has. Like literally all the same type of effects that the Plethora X1 has. Just can do zooms. A lot of zoom stuff is emulations, and just like the HX1 stuff, a lot of this is emulations. But the Plethora X1 are not emulations. They're the actual real TC electronic effects. That's one of the biggest differences for me between the three units. These ones are the authentic actual effects. So if I want a Corona chorus, I'm getting the authentic Corona chorus, you know? Compared to if I use the same, like the Trinity chorus on here or the tri-chorus on here, they're emulating this pedal, the way that this actual algorithm. So, you know, it's like this allows me, the reason I love this one is because it gives me all my favorite TC electronic effects, modulations, delays, reverbs, pitch effects. I'm not a huge fan of the pitch effects in here, but I do have one little setting that I like in there. You know, but other than that, so other than that, I ain't too fond of the pitch effects. But in here, my favorite effects are going to be the vibrato, or the tremolo, the shaker tremolo. Is absolutely one of my favorite tremolo effects. So that works well with anything. So I can put this shimmer effect on here, put the shaker on here, and so that's one of the benefits of having them. To be honest, if you're big into ambient stuff, just grab all three of them at some point. You know, I would go for all three personally, like I've done, just because that gives you 7 effects at a time, straight stereo. This has compressors and all that stuff as well. So this has compressors, filters, EQs, modulations, delays, and reverbs in there, and octavers. And octavers. This has all of that stuff plus distortions and overdrives, which we we don't need a ton of anyway. And this also has synths. Yeah, let me see something real quick. Yeah, so distortions, compressors, EQ, modulations, delay, reverb, pitch, and synth, and filters, and a looper. So now this doesn't have a looper. It does have something called a loop roll, which is different, which can be really useful for ambient music as well. So I can go in here, hit this loop roll. Let me change this setting. So it allows for like sustain and things like that. So you got somewhat of like a freeze function with the loop roll effect on here, which you can of course combine with different things. But you know, for me, I'm not using pretty much any of these distortions. The Regal bass preamp in there is pretty good. It's a what is that? A Noble preamp emulation. If you have a Zoom B6, Tube 1 is also a Noble type preamp. So, but I don't like any of these compressors on here for bass, and that's just me personally. On the HX1, I'm not feeling none of these compressors. The compressor on here is okay. I would prefer the TC Electronic Spectracomp. If I can use Spectracomp imprints on the compressor input in here, that'd be great. But this is also a noise gate, Sentry noise gate, all that stuff. My problem with this, while it has all these effects, am I going to use a $250 pedal just to run an additional EQ? Like, I'm probably not going to use this as an EQ. So the EQ section is pretty much therefore useless to me. Am I going to use this as a distortion or overdrive pedal? Probably not. So that's also dead too. So that section is knocked out. So I mean, like, I'm not going to use it for a compressor either, because for $250, you might as well get you something like a Empress or a Source Audio Atlas compressor if you're going to spend $250 just for a compressor. So that leaves modulations, delays, reverbs, pitch, and synth. I already said I don't like the filters. I'm not going to use this as a looper either. I would just get an actual looper. And, you know, if you have something like a Zoom B6, the looper in there is already better than this in terms of you have storage on the Zoom B6. Or on the Digitech Jamman Solo XT, you can find one of those. You don't have storage. Like, I need to be able to save those loops. And I don't want to have to be worrying about that. So for me, the looper on here is also a no-go. So I'm literally looking at modulations, delays, reverbs, and pitch and synth. And it's only certain ones of these like that I want. So I really do like that. Twin harmony. Simple pitch on here is okay. This dual pitch is pretty cool. I wouldn't be using the Boctiver or these synths really. This poly pitch. like these ones. So that's the Zoom one, and so tracking is pretty good on this too. And I think this. So you got plenty of options with either one of these pedals. It's really hard for me to recommend that you go with, you know, or it's put it like this. It's just gonna be better if you could get all three. All three of these are worth getting in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's just reality. Like I'm not endorsed by any of these companies, so it's just my personal opinion there. All of them are worth getting. I also like this dynamic bloom on here. It sounds really like run that into the track chorus on here, and any additional things I need to do, I can do from here. You know, I got 6 effect slots to do it from here. That's one of the things that makes me love like these pedals so much together. You know, everybody keeps talking about this or that. Why does it have to be this or that? Like, are you really only trying to have one pedal that bad? No, you probably not. Most people that's even looking at any of these pedals already has a ton of pedals. So what is 3 more? I use these 3, like I said, this is the very end of my chain right here. So I'm going from all of these, you know, I have looper effects bypass. All this is bypass right now from the loopers. So it's pretty much going from this looper to here to the Zoom B6. And then from the Zoom B6, I'm running stereo out into the Atlas compressor. All this is stereo. From the B6 on is stereo. So do things like this. Get that nice spherical type sound, like that nice circular. It's like it's doing this to you. Ying. It just follows you. Like I said, that's actually the Boss OC5 running to the Hog 2, running into Atlas compressor, MS-70CDR plus HX1 into the Plethora X1. So that, you know, it's a pretty complex sound there. I just love the movement on there. I love the movement, and I love the space that having each of these effects on there. If you just take off any of these, so we started off with just this sound. So we have the OC5 set to poly mode, where it's only putting the octave on the lowest part of the note. I mean, of the chord rather. Then we got that running into the hog 2, which is doing the original pitch, an octave up, a fifth, an octave and a fifth above, and 2 octaves. Which gets you there. Right? Then simply running that over here to the MS-70CDR Plus. Like I said, definitely worth having. I don't think personally any of these units can replace each other. Just being honest, like I don't have a dog in that fight of who sells more or who gets more out of this. I have a dog in the fight of which the customer, or in this case, my subscribers, people that's watching me, what they would get out of using these. As long as they're useful, I don't mind recommending them. Each one of them has its own little thing to it. That's beautiful. Like, you gonna tell me that's not a great reverb? What? And you gonna tell me this not a great chorus? I love how clean but warm Tease electronic modulation sound. Run all this together. I definitely like this particle verb on the HX1 as well. And I'll reiterate this. This is not really. I think people kind of looking at this the wrong way. They looking at it as an either or type thing. Either I want this one, or I want this one, or I want this one. It's like in reality, the same way you would look at having different pedals, just in general. Same way you can look at these ones. This one just has a lot. Could give you a lot more possibilities at once. The MS-70CDR Plus. But these two also have the effects they do have are really good. I do like these delays, reverbs, and the modulations, and some of the pitch stuff. Really, none of the synth stuff. So for me, as a bassist, I'm only going to use this HX1 as. I mean, not even the modulations. I like the modulations in here a lot better, but I really love these ones. These are the actual TC Electronic modulations in here. Like it's not like, it's not a copy. These are copies of generally other types of things. So it makes it it just makes it like you gonna say that's not a good sound. That's an amazing sound. And even though these pedals all have similar effects, like there's a particle verb on here, there's also one on here. Let me see. There's a particle verb on here, which sounds totally different than that one. Compared to the tail on that. Yep, tail's on. Turn the tail off. It's almost the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. That one's. I didn't realize that one was that close. That's crazy close. Like, wow. It's just very slight differences in those two effects right there. But, you'll have with these two together, you'll definitely have every effects combination you would pretty much need all together. MS-70CDR Plus and HX1 together is 7 slots. That's a full pedal board. As you can see on here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pedals. 8 different pedals on here. This little smaller pedal board down here. These two could do a lot of that heavy lifting for me. This one will cover. If I needed a preamp, I can put on that Regal preamp in there. That's the only one I would particularly use. I don't like the scrambler circuit, and I don't like what's that? I don't like that. I do actually like that dark glass preamp they have in here for bass. I do like that. So those are the two I would use from the distortion section on this pedal. But if I'm just going straight up ambient feel, this and this, the MS-70CDR Plus and HX1 are going to be fire. Or I could have the Plethora and the MS-70CDR Plus, and it's still going to be fire, because the same effects I'm going to be using this for, the HX1, I can use the X1 for. Not only that, it's not, you know, people just making it seem like you're stuck like with these joints in here. Once they get the software together, yes, you get, it seems like you get one effect per slot, but you got A and B slot, A and B for one. So one A, one B. Then you also had on the one A side of it, which is on this, in this case a reverb, you get 5 tone prints on that side. So you get 5 tone prints on the A side, 5 tone prints on the B side. So each one of these slots is 7 of them. Is 10 different tone prints that you can program in there. So that's one thing a lot of people are getting wrong about this unit. Oh, that particle verb on here is fire. But like I said, this one's fire too. You gonna tell me that's not fire just because this one costs more? Like, come on, like. But like I said, this is. I'm still deciding. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm still deciding if this one's worth it. Sounds great, but why does it cost $100 more than these two? Other than a few little details it can do, like a expression pedal. It's got a, instead of running stereo, it can run an effects loop and MIDI. That's really the only thing else you're getting with that. Like, as a bass player, oh, that particle reverb is film scoring all day, all day. Film score with that. So again, that's MS-70CDR plus by itself. It's like you can create that massive sound with this. I think a lot of people don't really understand that. It's not. Is this a just turn it on and you're gonna have everything at your disposal, like ready to go? Not necessarily. Not unless you wait for my good old pack to come out. Mind you, hit that like button, man. Like, hit that like button for me. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Definitely need y'all to hit that like button while y'all here. Also, if you want to support the channel more, you can do that through the Patreon. You want the my presets for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, that's on the Patreon. Got a pack for the Zoom B6, all my presets from that. Also I have my packs for the ToneX One and ToneX pedals and software. 11 different preamp packs, like they got the Magellan, the AG, Ampeg SGT, got the lower mark bass, Ampeg BA, Jeans Bench Shuttle. 9. All these different sounds are available, and as well as my personal ToneX 1 preset pack on there, which includes 6 custom IRs. In addition to 11 or 12 different preamps, all in that one preset pack. But and I got 47 piece synth bass pack on there as well. So check all that stuff out. So take a sound like that from the C4 synth, and of course, if you want more, if you want that dry sound to come through a little bit more, you can come over here, adjust this mix. And you can always bring that mix down if you would like to wherever you would like it to be. Take something like that, you know what I'm saying? Ugh, that's nasty work right there, first off. That's nasty work right there. Running through any of the modulations on there. Phaser though. See if we take it to this is one of my favorite phasers, the warp phaser on here. One of my absolute favorite phasers, but I like the stone one. So these same pedals you could use. You can also use for keyboard. You know, no problem. If you wanted to this entire signal chain from the Atlas to the Plethora, there's 4 pedals. It makes a beast keyboard rig as well. If you're into ambient sounds or different reverbs, there's some massive, nice sounds with that joint for sure. That's fire. And that's with the MS-70CDR Plus and the Plethora X1, Plethora X1 on the Corona cores. This tri-chorus just makes everything like massive, like wide, like nice wide sound. That's already a huge sound. You add this. That joint just multiplies. But that's what you're aiming for with these different effects. Like it's not always like some huge massive difference with every effects block you're adding. It's more so, sometimes just adding subtle things like that vibrato versus it just makes the whole sound sing. Then you add in, the delays and reverbs, and it just gets super massive. So, those sounds, I gotta finish wrapping up, making the packs for the MS-70CDR Plus. But it's gonna be a lot of pad stuff. It's gonna be a mixture of pad stuff and very bass specific presets. So like, for instance, you know, things like the filters will be incorporated more. It just things you'll be able to use on actual gigs, not just here's a bunch of sounds that, you can only use looping or when you're writing. No, you'll be able to use the majority of the pack on a gig if you would like to. And it's still going to include some nice little features like things for when you go to solo or things for when you go to do pads or different things. So you'll have that whole gambit available in the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus pack, which will be available on my Patreon once I finish it. And I'll let you guys know when. But that's all I'm going to do for today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and share. I'll be doing this a few times a week. I typically start between 12 and 2, but I got started a little early today. But, in order to know exactly when, you hit that subscribe button to get your notification. Also, if you would like to check out any of my presets that are currently available or preset packs, all of that stuff is on the Patreon for the MS-60B Plus, the Zoom B6, the ToneX pedals and software, as well as there's a C4 bass synth pack on there as well. So check all that stuff out. If you want to support the channel, you can do that best by going to the Patreon. If you would like to leave a tip or cash app, you can do that through the Cash App or Super Chat, Super Thanks. And if you want to check out my music, allbasscreations.bandcamp.com has all my originals. I did an entire album with just my bass and effects, but it sounds like a full album, and it's not an ambient album either. It sounds like a full album. And I also have some singles on there, some of which I played everything on there, piano, bass, and drums, things like that. So check out all that stuff at allbasscreations.bandcamp and find me on all social media at the Bass Negus. Feel free to reach out in the DMs or wherever if you're trying to get in contact about something in particular. But typically, I definitely appreciate you